consider this the sequel successor series to the Legend ZA hunts. Now to make sure there's sound. Okay, good, there's sound. I don't know, does this seem a little zoomed in? Am I crazy, or does it look slightly slanted? Even though it looks straight at the same time. Okay, so why am I doing this? Well, one, I don't want to do Dynamax Adventures for all the Sinnoh legendaries. And two, well, all the legendaries are shiny locked in Legends Arceus. And the only way to get them shiny in-game is to get them shiny from another game and transfer them over. So that's why I'm doing this. And also because at the tail end of this, I want to get shiny Enamorus. I've been saving that for this. Well, for the very end of it, at least. So this hunt will consist of all of the Sinnoh legendaries, as well as Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. I'm covering them all. I'm sorry I'm not doing anything more exciting these days besides the shiny hunting. You know, I don't really have a lot I'm doing right now. I don't have a lot of games to play. That's a complete lie. I have a lot of things I could play. But you know, I want to do this. I want to get these shinies. You know, this is the exact same Ultra Moon that I got. Which one was it? Was it Yveltal? Is that the Ultra Moon exclusive? This is the exact same game, the exact same Ultra Moon copy that got that shiny Yveltal, or whichever one is Ultra Moon exclusive. Give me a second. Oh yeah, so you thought 6 of these hunts took a long time? Try 9. Or is there 9? Or is there 12? Let's see. Uxie, Mesprit, Azov, Dialga, Palkia, Heatran, Regigigas, Giratina, Cresselia, Tornadus, Thunderous, Landorus. Nope, that's 12! You thought 6 of these took long. Try double that. Try 12, because I got 12 of these things to hunt now. We all saw how long Mewtwo took me. Times that by 12. Then again, I could get lucky like I did with Kyogre and Xerneas. YouTube has become annoying these days. My typical method of skipping ads no longer works. It seems like they fixed that. Well, shit. So it's gonna be even more annoying playing music because I gotta deal with the ads. Well, it's been a while since we did things like this. There's a specific ad block for YouTube now. Is it whatever that one I've been seeing ads for? Well, let's see. TCG Pocket got brand new sets today. The Celestial Guardian one, I think. The one where it's based on Gen 7, Sun and Moon. Certain douchebag over here. Let's see. He sent me a screenshot of what he pulled first pack. He pulled the full art Guzma, and then pulled the shiny Marowak EX card. Both from the same pack. Me, on the other hand, today I pulled Immersive Guzma, really? Huh, so it is. There's 2 immersive cards for this? I didn't know that. Well, today I pulled the shiny Blastoise EX card. Now, I did not pull the second one. I did get it from Wonder Pick. I got the Alolan Muck EX. Hey, real quick, what's Muck spelled backwards? Did not pull the Lily Immersive. We all want that one. Nobody wants the Guzma one. You know, I've looked through the new deck, the new set of cards. Can't help but notice a lack of love for Primarina. Because I see a lot of Decidueye EXs, great. And Incineroar EXs, bad. I don't really see any Primarina cards except for the standard one. Like, I don't see any full art for Primarina. I don't see any 2-star EXs for Primarina. It's all Decidueye and Incineroar. Anyways, back to our usual formula with me doing this bullshit, this stupid ass thing that I do. I do indeed have a gang load of shows I plan to watch and discuss. However, for today, I'm going to start off with something different. Today, I finally had free time in like over a month. Remember, my sister went on a cruise trip for a week, and then a couple days later, after she got back, she went to Korea for 2 weeks. So I had to fill in for her at work for like a month. And then, as I've said many times before, for the past couple of weeks, after my sister got back from her trips and she's been jet lagged and all that, she's back to normal now. Well, I have not been able to have a day off for several weeks. Several cases where I've been told for days ahead of time that I can take Friday off. Well, Friday came and it's like, well, never mind, too bad. We need you at work. So for weeks, I have lost my day off from work, and my family shows absolutely no remorse. They do not care. They just say, too bad for you, suck it up, loser. And then, yesterday, my mom went with my sister to go see the doctor. And then, so because the two of them had to go to the doctor, I had to go and open the store myself. When they got back, my mom was missing a sister with her. So I asked, is she coming in today? Is she gonna come in today? My mom's just like, nope. She left with her husband to go do stuff. It's like, well, that seems unfair as hell. She gets this suddenly call that she's taking a day off out of nowhere, and I can't even get a single day off for weeks. Seems kind of bullshit to me. You know, she can out of nowhere just say, yeah, I'm not coming in today. And then here I am, weeks in, without a single one. Seems kind of bullshit to me. So my mom was like, you can take tomorrow, today. You can take tomorrow off as well as, you know, Thursdays, because you're from now on taking Thursdays off again. So I was able to take today off. Great. Season 3 of From? Yes, eventually. Yay. Don't you just love me doing this formula of stupid live streams? Shiny hunting? You get to hear me say stuff about From. Look at me, I'm already disgusted by the idea of having to watch Season 3 of From. So anyways, I do have a lot of shows in mind to watch and talk about. Literally, Dead Season 2. What? Dead City Season 2 is airing in a couple days. I'll be honest, I wasn't keeping track, so this date snuck up on me completely by surprise. I didn't realize it was literally about to start airing. But yeah, Season 2 of Dead City is coming out. Is it this Thursday? No, Thursday. Is it this Sunday? I think it's this Sunday. Yeah, May 4th, I think. I'm pretty sure it's May 4th. So yeah, Dead City Season 2 is starting. I did also mention 2 shows in particular that I completely forgot to watch and catch up on. Being Monarch Legacy of Monsters, is that what it's called? As well as the Ted series, I completely forgot about that. You know, we got bullshit like From Season 3, and then good shit like Gen V and the Boys Season 3. Well, we're not getting Invincible Season 4 anytime soon. Nor are we getting anything out of, like, Hazbin Hotel or anything. Daredevil Born Again has come and gone. So, yeah, like I was saying. because today I finally got a day off, I finally got some free time, I used that free time, not to edit that vlog I promised, but instead to watch a movie. One of several movies I have yet to catch up on, just because I have not had free time. I have not had free time during the day to actually watch these films, and don't forget, I am legally not allowed to use my TV during night. So my only option is to watch it during the day when nobody else is at home. I can't watch it at night. Not only am I busy doing stuff here, but I'm also just not allowed to use the TV because everyone completely blows a gasket and goes crazy about me using the TV, so I'm not allowed to use the TV at night. So the only times when I'm actually able to watch movies and catch up, that's why you have a monitor. It's not the monitor thing though, it's like timing as well. Like I said, I just don't have time to watch movies during the day. I technically could watch movies at work. I mean, I've done it before, but it's like, yeah, if I do that, I'll watch it on my phone screen, and that's not desirable. Whoops. Oh yeah, we're back to that happening again. So anyways, yeah, I can only really watch movies. I can catch up. What? I can really only catch up on certain movies during the day when I actually have time and when I'm actually allowed to use the TV. So what movie did I watch today? What film shall I discuss with you fine folks today? I am rather late to watching this movie, and honestly, I don't really care. The movie in question I watched today, finally, is Captain America: Brave New World. I did not want to watch this movie in the theater, and thank God I did not watch it in the theater. Just a couple of quick thoughts before I discuss the film itself. It's okay. It's just okay. It's not great. There's nothing too special about it. It's just okay. It didn't really have anything stand out about it. It's just an alright film. It's like a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is generous. That's really the best thing I can say about this movie. It's okay. Yeah, I am super glad I did not spend money to go watch this in the theater. Thunderbolts, however, I'm tempted to, because I hear it's actually pretty good. Seeing the trailers, I don't see no woke bullshit in the trailers, so that's good as well. You know, there's no female Silver Surfer in the trailer, you know what I mean? So, movies like this, we all know about the production nightmare behind the scenes when it comes to Brave New World. How the script was pretty bad initially from everything that was reported, so they reshot a big chunk of the movie. Normally with movies like this, you can tell where the reshoots are. You can tell what scenes are reshot, what scenes are the original, were originally shot. This movie kind of feels like everything was reshot. It kind of feels like nothing was from the original idea. Yeah, this movie... There weren't just parts that felt reshot, it felt like everything was reshot. On the bright side, and this is very loose positives, on the bright side, it at least somewhat connects. It at least somewhat feels important to the grand scheme, the grand story being told overall. Not really, because the film's relatively self-contained. You know, it felt like it connected to Thunderbolts, which we already know is going to connect to Doomsday because all the casts are coming back. We also know that Captain America and Falcon, the watered-down versions of both, are also returning in Doomsday. So on the bright side, it at least feels like it connects. It feels somewhat important to watch beforehand. Not really, somewhat. Alright, so let's discuss this film. Let's talk about this movie. First of all, I couldn't help but notice there was no Marvel logo. Not really. Not your standard, you know, not your standard like din 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 like that Marvel logo movie. There was none of that. There wasn't even Captain America. It was just Brave New World as the title card. Oh, I should also mention that this movie barely felt excuse me. It barely felt like a Captain America movie. It felt more like a Hulk sequel. It kind of felt more like a Hulk movie without the Hulk. It felt more like a sequel to the 2008 Hulk, Incredible Hulk movie. And that's kind of what it was. I can at least say that I finally got the film that I was quote-unquote asking for when it comes to superhero films. Just ridiculous idea of mine. I would have loved to see, well, not loved, I would have been interested to see, you know, a superhero movie where the hero does not fight their typical villain. Like they fight some other hero's villain, for example. And this idea comes to mind because I saw people comparing them. Imagine if Steve Rogers' Captain America, the main villain of his movie was Green Goblin. That'd be cool to see. It'd be extremely weird because that's not a Captain America villain. But it'd still be interesting to see, right? I kind of wanted to see a movie where the hero fights a villain not typically associated with that hero. Let's say a movie where Spider-Man fights, I can't even think of anyone. Fights, I don't know, Gore the God Butcher. It's a random pick. Or Spider-Man fights Red Skull. I almost said Taskmaster, but no, Taskmaster is somewhat a Spider-Man villain. So yeah, I kind of wanted to see a movie where the hero fights a villain not typically associated with that hero. And, well, now I got it. I got Captain America fighting Red Hulk for some reason. Great, I don't need to see this movie concept ever again. Unless they do it better. But yeah, it felt more like a Hulk sequel, given the fact that we have Red Hulk, the leader, Betty Ross, callbacks to the fight in Harlem with Abomination. It really just felt like a Hulk sequel. A Hulk sequel, what, like 15 years too late? No, more than 15 years. So anyways, this movie opens up with Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross recast with Harrison Ford. Obviously, I would have loved to see William Hurt still be in the role, but unfortunately, William Hurt passed away, so rest in peace to him. So they kind of had no choice but to recast the character if they wanted to use the character. Just be glad they did not resurrect William Hurt with bad CGI like they did Christopher Reeves. You know, my mental gymnastics on why Thunderbolt Ross looks different. Variant, TVA, something happened. Something happened with the, William Hurt looking Thunderbolt Ross, so the TV had to swoop in and replace him with a variant that looks slightly different and altered the memories of everyone. It's a very loose, very bad theory, but hey, it's something, right? Oh, look. Stupid YouTube ads. Stupid Reese's Cups ad. Disrupting the music. You know what? Let me play something else. Maybe that's a sign to play a different song. By the way, did you guys watch this movie? What did you guys think about it? Do you share my opinion, thinking the movie was just okay? It wasn't anything too special, it didn't do anything too amazing? I really should play this game. Anyways. So, we open up with Thunderbolt Ross being, not really announced since he already won the election, making a speech about being president. And, well, that was 5 months ago. 5 months pass. Sam Wilson, Captain America, is, I think, down in Mexico on a mission retrieving a package from the Serpent Society. Now, in the movie, it's less Serpent Society and more Serpent Guy. Because, Giancarlo Esposito, him again, plays... What the hell was the character's name again? They just called him Serpent, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure he had an actual character name. But for the most part, it was just Giancarlo. It was just him. It was just him again. This guy's everywhere, and he just plays the same character every time. So, yeah, they're retrieving a package from him. He was supposed to meet with a quote-unquote buyer, but the buyer did not show up. So, yeah, he retrieves the package for the president. With the help of Joaquin Torres, the new Falcon. Gotta say, I like him. But, everything just feels shifted. All the positions, all the mantles just feels shifted. The mantle of Captain America shifted from Steve Rogers to Sam Wilson. Falcon shifted from Sam Wilson to Joaquin Torres. And there's also a Black Widow in this film. It's not Natasha Romanoff, obviously. It's not Yelena Belova. There's a new character, a new Black Widow, Ruth something. I forget the rest of her name. Ruth something. So, it's almost like the character, the mantle of Captain America just cannot exist without Black Widow and Falcon by his side. Because, in Winter Soldier, we saw Captain America, the Falcon, and Black Widow. And now, another Captain America movie, we see Captain America, the Falcon, and Black Widow. So, yeah. Sam offers to introduce Joaquin to someone who will train him, and it's none other than Isaiah Bradley, the super soldier done wrong by the government. So, Sam gets invited to the White House. Sam and Joaquin both get invited to the White House. And Sam just like, one condition, you extend the invitation to Isaiah as well. So they go to the White House. Thunderbolt Ross is trying to make a peace treaty, like a global peace treaty, with different countries around the world because of what happened with the Eternals movie with Tiamat. The rest of the world is now calling it Celestial Island, and Tiamat actually has with it adamantium. That's a pretty big deal. Adamantium is now in the MCU. So can't wait to see that probably lead to mutants in the future. Or, you know, just more adamantium storylines. They said adamantium's even stronger than vibranium. That's wild. I feel like casual Marvel fans who don't really know stuff like this, they've been told for years that vibranium is so strong, it's the strongest thing on Earth. And then out of nowhere, they're just introduced to a brand new element called adamantium, even stronger than vibranium. So anyways, as Thunderbolt Ross is showing his PowerPoint presentation, Isaiah, as well as a bunch of other guys, goes crazy and tries to assassinate the president. So then Isaiah is, you know, once again arrested, so poor Isaiah. Though Isaiah does not recall what happened. He has no memory. It's almost like he was mind-controlled. You know, we also meet the character of Ruth, who is ex-widow. She was also trained in the Red Room by... Remember, Dreykov, the guy whose superpower is that he's stinky. Man, I love the way Moist Critical put it. His superpower is he's stinky. So once you get a waft of him, you can't attack him. What a superior superpower. He's stinky. And then throughout the film, we also get these phone calls. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Thunderbolt Ross also wants Sam Wilson to reassemble the Avengers. Sam actually brings up a good point, which I didn't think about. You wanted the Sokovia Corps, which broke up the Avengers, and now you suddenly want the Avengers back. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, throughout the film, our characters keep on getting phone calls from whoever this mysterious person is, and then later on, our characters realize this is the buyer that screwed over the serpent, I guess. I figured out pretty early on that, you know, it was the leader. It was the leader returning to the MCU. Now, I gotta say, I hate his design. His design is His design is terrible. We've seen behind the scenes, like, design photos of his initial design where he actually had the big dome, the big cranium, you know, the big forehead. I really wish they went with that design instead. Because that's how he's supposed to look. He's supposed to kind of look like a green Sinestro. However, they did not do that. They went with the disgusting brain-textured bald cap. And I don't like it. I really wish they went with the comic accurate design instead. I don't care if it looks goofy on screen. That's what I would have preferred. So anyways, yeah, the leader, turns out he has been quote-unquote imprisoned by Thunderbolt Ross for like 16 years with the false promise of once Ross becomes president, he will be given a full pardon and have his life back. In the meantime, here's a lab, here's equipment, develop stuff for me, develop pills for me that'll stop me from dying, because Thunderbolt Ross is dying, his heart is failing, so the leader develops pills for him that keeps him alive. However, those pills have a high level of gamma radiation, and over time, Thunderbolt's Ross body absorbs it, thus turning him into the Red Hulk. I was kind of wondering, you know, how far are they going to say this plot point has been going on for? Has Thunderbolt Ross this entire time in the MCU after the Incredible Hulk just been consuming gamma? Has he been Red Hulk this whole time and just been able to control himself from not turning into the Red Hulk? No, they make it sound like this has been somewhat recent, I think. I don't know, I haven't seen any reviews and breakdowns yet. So anyways, yeah. Sam and Joaquin, they realize flashing lights, sounds, someone's developed tech to mind control people. They also get a bunch of phone calls, so they track the phone call. They find out it's like Camp Echo 1, so they go and investigate. They find the leader there. They find out that the leader has been pulling everything, pulling all the strings. It kind of just reminded me of the Hydra storyline in Winter Soldier. I've seen every possibility. I know exactly what's gonna happen. You know, who's a threat in the future. I've seen every possibility. Well, the way I make it sounds more like Doctor Strange. You know, but it's kind of just sounded like Zola's algorithm to me. And the way he said it, like, I've seen every probability, kind of also reminded me of The Flash's villain, The Thinker. Season 4? Shit. Yeah, it was season 4. It was after Savitar. So they realize that, you know, the leader wants to basically cause a war and blame it on Thunderbolt Ross. He doesn't want to kill Ross. He wants to destroy Ross's reputation. So there's a big scuffle between America and Japan over Celestial Island and Tiamat with the adamantium. We get this, like, I guess, somewhat decent aerial battle over Celestial Island. You know, we see a bunch of fighter jets get taken over by the leader. We see Captain America and Falcon have to fight and disarm all the, you know, the jets and the missiles being fired. I mean, it was cool. Not gonna lie, some of the CGI looked spotty, but for the most part, the CGI was pretty good. Acceptable, passable. I mean, they didn't really do much with Celestial Island with Tiamat. I would have loved to see, like, what the inside looks like, how they're actually mining and extracting adamantium from it. But instead, Tiamat Celestial Island was more of a background piece. It was just, you know, a setting for the big aerial battle to just fly over. Didn't really do much with Tiamat. It was more of a background thing. It was kind of cool to see it again, though. Isn't there only one Eternal left on Earth, by the way? That being Sprite? Because remember, Arishem took the remaining Celestials. Cersei, Kingo, and I think Phastos? Wait, who was left? Icarus killed himself in the sun. Characters like Makari, Druig, Thena, they all left to find other Eternals, and that's where they met up with Star Fox. Ajak is dead. So I think it was just those three. So yeah, Sprite lost her celestial power, so she's just a regular human on Earth. So the only celestial left on Earth is Sprite. She surely had to have seen the news and saw that, right? Well, in the big fight, Joaquin gets hurt, he needs surgery, and then we get surprise cameo guest appearance from Bucky Barnes. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I knew Bucky was gonna make a cameo in this film, but I forgot it was gonna happen. So when it happened, I was surprised. You know, Sam is regretting not taking the super soldier serum, like Steve did, like you did, Bucky, and then Bucky's just like, why? You know, you don't need the serum to be a good person, a good human being trying his best. It was funny, because later on in the movie, Sam's just like, I should have taken that serum. Bucky, you're so full of shit. Yeah, so Sam has this, I don't remember what his name is, this guy run tests on what these pills are that Thunderbolt Ross is taking, finds out that they are highly dosed with gamma. So as that guy is about to call Cap and warn him, well, the leader shows up and kills him. I kind of wish, at that moment, whoever that guy's name was, he was asking, who are you? And then... Ah, shit, what was the leader's name again? I'm blanking on his actual name. Samuel Stearns, right. Yeah, Samuel Stearns shows up and he's just like, I'm the hero. Man, I really wish at that point they'd made him say, I'm the leader. Like, would have been perfect. Whatever. They did not have him say, I'm the leader. They just had him say, I'm the hero. So, Sam realizes that Ross is radiating with gamma and he's about to turn, so he has to go. Over at the White House press conference, yeah, Thunderbolt Ross turns to Red Hulk and then we get this fight between the two. Now, people online before the film came out were saying, how does Sam Wilson have a chance, even a hint of a chance, against Red Hulk? Right? Realistically, one single punch and Sam Wilson will be disintegrated. And then people argue, you know, the fact that he has vibranium that can absorb kinetic energy. And then people were also arguing that Sam doesn't have super soldier serum, so he's just a regular person. The Hulk would even throw Steve Rogers back, right? You know? Pause on that. You know what I'm trying to say. A punch from the Hulk would even send Steve Rogers flying. So Sam Wilson? Yeah, he would be dust. They also didn't really cover Red Hulk's heat ability. The angrier he gets, the hotter he gets. They didn't really do much with that, which I'm a little disappointed by. Throughout the film, there's this whole theme with Thunderbolt Ross wanting to reconnect with his daughter Betty Ross. Them always going to see the cherry blossoms together. So their fight actually ends up in a Washington road with a bunch of cherry blossoms, and I'm just like, is this really in Washington, D.C.? Are there just a bunch of cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C.? Is that a thing? Anyways, yep, they fight. Cap is actually able to get some cuts off of Red Hulk, which I'm a little surprised by. Normally, we don't even see Bruce Banner's Hulk get cut, really. I suppose since, I don't know, maybe Red Hulk is fresher, not as high dosed with gamma radiation as Bruce Banner, so I guess his skin's not as impenetrable. I don't know. Well, whatever. Sam talks down Red Hulk, who, by the way, once Thunderbolt Ross turns to Red Hulk, hey, solves his gray hair problem because all his hair turned black again. Well, Thunderbolt Ross gets taken to the Raft. I guess he's impeached as president, only after like 100 days. And to my surprise, when Sam visited Ross in the Raft, Betty Ross shows up. I didn't think she would actually show up in the movie. I thought maybe they just got Liv Tyler to voice a line. But no, she actually came back. It was a short scene, but great, you know? Now if only we can get a freaking reunion between Bruce Banner and Betty Ross. Ugh. Man, it is so bullshit how the MCU has done the Hulk character so dirty. It's not entirely Marvel's fault, it's also Paramount's fault, because they're more greedy with the character than Sony is with Spider-Man. So, yeah, Isaiah gets free. He has no charges on him. Sam goes and visits Joaquin in the hospital. Movie ends. Post-credit scene, Sam visits Samuel Stearns, the leader in the Raft, and then he's just like, oh shit, stupid ads. There's no warning for ads anymore, too. And then Samuel Stearns is just like, all you heroes defending this world. You think there's only one world? Wait till you have to defend the world from the rest of them. You know, teasing. I think this was originally teasing the Kang variants, but obviously that changed. Now, I guess you could consider it as like the Avengers unknowingly defending the Earth from the X-Men, because it seems like Avengers Doomsday is going to be X-Men, like Avengers versus X-Men. You know, I've wanted this movie, not Captain America. I wanted a movie like what I'm about to say for a very long time. I wanted a movie where Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, possibly Inhumans, but if not Inhumans, then fine. I wanted a movie where mainly those three groups were in together. It seems like we're getting that with Doomsday, but it's not the roster I wanted. Fantastic Four, we're getting them. We're getting all four of them, so perfection on that. X-Men, as of right now, they haven't announced anyone else yet, aside from the initial chair reveal. So, you know, we're only getting, as of right now, from our understanding, we're getting Professor X, Magneto, Mystique, Beast. We're getting Nightcrawler, Cyclops. Am I forgetting anyone? It's like, nothing wrong with those characters, but, you know, where's some of the other X-Men characters? Where's Wolverine? Where's Jean Grey? Where's characters like Jubilee, even though she barely showed up in the X-Men movies? Where's Rogue, right? Where's Iceman? The big players in the X-Men movies. And then Avengers, well, there's no Steve Rogers, there's no Tony Stark, no Natasha Romanoff. As of this moment, we don't know if Clint Barton's going to be in the film. We're getting Thor, Ant-Man, Sam Wilson Cap, Joaquin Torres Falcon, Shang-Chi, Shuri Black Panther, Namor or Namor. So it's like not really the Avengers roster I was hoping for in a movie where I wanted to see Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four together. Not really the X-Men roster I was hoping for either. Like, I'm fine with Charles, Xavier, and Magneto. I'm fine with Mystique, but like, well, Nightcrawler, and I guess Beast as well is kind of random, since not really Beast, since Beast is a big X-Men character, but not really in the movies, you know what I mean? Cyclops, I definitely want to see Cyclops. I think that's enough of that music. So, yeah, anyways, Captain America Brave New World felt more like a Hulk movie than a Captain America movie. It was just okay. It really didn't do anything special. The Red Hulk scene really was about 5 minutes and not much else. Serpent Society, they really didn't do anything at all with that in the movie. They could have removed that concept from the movie and not really that much would have changed. Seeing the leader back was nice, even though I hate his design, especially with what they could have given us. Joaquin Torres was fun, though. He's a fun character. I barely remember him in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He appeared in, like, what, 2 or 3 scenes for that entire show? So he was pretty forgettable in that. Yeah, there you go. Captain America, Brave New World. Now, I question the timeline a bit. Sam says that he's been with Joaquin for 3 years, and, 3 years after The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and Winter Soldier took place in 2024. Because it took place after Endgame in 2023. So 2024, 3 years later, that's 2027. Does that line up? 2027 for this film? Because Sam did also mention that Bucky is 110. So 2027 minus 110 was Bucky Barnes born in 1917? Let me double check. Oh yeah, he was, 1917. I'm seeing here on the Marvel Cinematic Universe fandom wiki, it says Bucky Barnes, date of birth, March 10th, 1917. Okay, so this movie does... At least they got that accurately, Okay, so this film takes place in 2027. Nice. So, I've been wanting to mention this for actually quite a long time, and I just keep on forgetting. I think Bucky Barnes is named after a president. Bucky's name is James Buchanan Bucky Barnes. His name is James Buchanan. There was actually a president named James Buchanan. So I think Bucky is named after President James Buchanan. He was the 15th president of the United States. I see here, serving from 1857 to 1861. So, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think James Buchanan Barnes is named after 15th president of the United States, James Buchanan. If that really is the case, which if that's not the case, that's a pretty big coincidence. I'm going to assume that is the case. We now have two characters in the MCU who I'm assuming is named after someone else. And what a surprise, it relates to both Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes. So, as I just mentioned, Bucky Barnes seems to be named after President James Buchanan. Who's the other one? Well, Moon Knight. Specifically, Mr. Moon. Stephen Grant. Where have I heard the name Stephen Grant before? Maybe named after Captain America, Stephen Grant Rogers? Remember in Moon Knight? Shit, why can't I remember his name? Moon Knight, Mark Spector, there we go. Remember, Mark Spector was the original, and then he developed the split personality, Stephen Grant, based on the Indiana Jones ripoff, Stephen Grant Adventures, something like that. I would not be surprised if in-universe they made an Indiana Jones kind of show named after Captain America, Stephen Grant, and then the Stephen Grant persona came to life. So in a way, Stephen Grant, Mr. Knight, is named after Captain America, Stephen Grant Rogers. I have a theory I came up with when it comes to Marvel. Hold on, let me text No Shaman Feeding, see if he wants to hear this. It's been a while since I heard this theme. First, is there an ad? There is an ad. I got a Doom ad. Doom the Dark Ages ad. It's been a while since I last heard this song. want to hear what I realized earlier today? So I was thinking about, you know, my, right now, Sinnoh region shiny hunts for legendaries. And then I started to realize, wait a second, we have a bunch of group legendaries. So we have a bunch of groups of legendaries, like Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Regirock, Regice, Registeel, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, or even duos like Latios, Dialga, Palkia, all that stuff. Or we even have groups of 4, like all the Tapus, or the Ruins of something, the Gen 9 ones. So I was thinking, like, well, Gen 4, we have random one-off legendaries. One-off legendaries like Heatran and Cresselia, not part of a group. It's just one single legendary, not part of any other group, just on its own. I was thinking, how many of those do we actually have? Some of them are interesting cases. We have Heatran and Cresselia, you know, those are on their own one-offs. Regigigas, kinda, but it's also part of the whole Regi squad, so not really. We have Type Null and Silvally on their own, randomly in the middle of the Pokedex. Cubfu and Urshifu, kinda its own thing. Glastrier and Spectrier are, you know, a duo pair. And obviously they correspond with Calyrex. When you think of one-off legendaries on their own, you have Mewtwo, the first one for that case. So, for the most part, like, the third legendary is always the third one in their duo group. So Rayquaza is the third one to Kyogre and Groudon. Giratina is the third one to Dialga and Palkia. Kyurem, the third one to Reshiram and Zekrom. Zygarde, the third one to Xerneas and Yveltal. However, that case is kind of strange when it comes to Gen 8. Zacian and Zamazenta, the third one is Eternatus. That one doesn't really fit. If you look at their overall designs, Calyrex looks more like it should be the third one, just because it has more of a canine design to it. Eternatus being the third one just kind of doesn't match. Eternatus is just a big fish bones skeleton alien thing. Doesn't really match with the whole canine legendary theme. So to me, Calyrex feels more like the third one to Zacian and Zamazenta, but you know, I can accept the argument saying Eternatus as well. Something like Ogerpon and Terapagos, they're not really a third one, a third associate with Koraidon and Miraidon, so that doesn't really work as well. So the two of them are kind of on their own as well. So, you dig into it, there's actually a couple of cases of one-off standalone legendaries, and some of them do get weird. I still hate the fact that something like Cosmog and Cosmoem are considered legendaries. Well, no shame in feeding seems like he's a no-show, so let me tell you about my Marvel theory. Once I put on some other music first. Okay, no ad, good. So I have a theory on why everything after Endgame is pretty bad. Not everything, but for the most part, majority, is pretty bad after Endgame. Because what happened after Endgame, or rather, you know, because of the events of Avengers Endgame, Loki escaped. He, you know, got arrested by the TVA, eventually found He Who Remains, and there's one line in particular that He Who Remains said that really resonates with me. It's the whole baseline for this theory. He Who Remains said that, you know, once he isolated our timeline, got rid of all the branch timelines, no more multiverse war, just one sacred timeline. That one line he said, once I isolated our timeline. So He Who Remains chose this particular timeline to dub sacred and keep only one timeline around. He chose this one timeline. So, you know, he chose a timeline where certain events don't happen. Kind of like no Norman Osborn was born, no Otto Octavius was born. You know what I mean? Unless they show up in the future. We saw that in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, characters like Norman Osborn, characters like Otto Octavius, the Rhino, the Chameleon, Lonnie Lincoln, all these characters do exist. But, you know, He Who Remains chose the one timeline that they were not born in. I guess he chose the one timeline where all of their parents, none of them had sex. Whatever. So, my point is, He Who Remains isolated our timeline. And everything we saw before Avengers Endgame was part of that timeline. Well, the moment He Who Remains died, the multiverse split, lots of branch timelines, lots of variants, lots of Nexus events. What if everything after Endgame, after He Who Remains was killed, is not what was part of the sacred timeline? And that would explain why it's so bad, because He Who Remains did not intend to have this timeline play out. The events of, you know, this timeline following the events of Endgame. So in He Who Remains' sacred timeline that he isolated, the events of She-Hulk didn't happen, the events of Echo didn't happen, events of... what else was bad? The events of Thor Love and Thunder didn't happen, the Marvels didn't happen. So my theory would propose the idea that after Endgame, we're following a branch timeline that's not our own, and we're seeing a bunch of bad events happen that were not supposed to happen. That's my theory. Now, that's a pretty stupid theory, but that's my theory nonetheless. The fact that He Who Remains initially isolated a timeline where good things were going to happen after Thanos was defeated. But then, you know, after the defeat of Thanos, the events of Loki happened, Sylvie killed He Who Remains, branching off timelines, and, well, we ended up following a timeline that is pretty bad after Endgame, after He Who Remains was killed. The best timeline. Yep, that's my theory. That's my theory on the MCU, why everything after Endgame was bad. Well, not everything. For the most part, after Endgame was bad. You know, there were good things after Endgame. I love Loki, Spider-Man No Way Home. I really enjoyed Hawkeye, Moon Knight. Guardians Volume 3, while forgettable, was still one of the good things post-Endgame. It's really forgettable, isn't it? Anyways. So yeah, a lot of things post-Endgame were pretty bad, like I listed. She-Hulk, Echo, Love and Thunder, The Marvels. Multiverse of Madness was disappointing. But, you know, I'll at least rewatch that over Love and Thunder. It's because He Who Remains did not intend for this to be the timeline. After he was killed, well, the timeline got bad because it was not He Who Remains' isolated, sacred timeline. Well, there you go, that's my theory. I don't know, I think the theory could work, but only problem is it proposes this is not the timeline we're supposed to follow. We were supposed to follow a good timeline with awesome stuff playing out after Endgame, but no, we ended up following a pretty bad Nexus event, a pretty bad branch timeline where events are pretty shitty. Oh yeah, don't forget, Secret Invasion, that was terrible. Not the One More Day rewrite. Man, if you ask me, they should not, first of all, if they want to officially announce Secret Invasion as not canon, I would not be mad. But I feel like they should just try again. You know? Give us Secret Invasion as a Disney Plus series that nobody likes, and then try again. Give us Avengers Secret Invasion, a full-blown movie. Correct yourself. Redeem yourself on that story plot, that storyline. Who cares if it's the same title twice? I mean, I'm sure it's totally not confusing when fans decades from now look back and question, why was there a Daredevil show and then a Daredevil Born Again show? Like, why are there two separate shows? I don't know, I feel like they really should have just given us, you know, a small-scale Avengers film. Because he was born again, duh. You right. You right. How could I not think about that? But yeah, it's like, I feel like they should have just given us a smaller scale Avengers film. Kind of like Captain America Civil War. That was a small scale Avengers film. Give it, well, excuse me. Then again, Secret Invasion is in no way small scale. And let's face it, right now the Avengers roster they would have, nobody would be interested in. We would have a roster of probably the Doomsday roster of Avengers. We would have Thor, Ant-Man, Sam Wilson, Cap, Joaquin Torres, Falcon, Shuri, Black Panther, M'Baku, Namor, you know, the Thunderbolts. Whatever. So yeah, my point is, the MCU has been bad after Endgame, because immediately after Endgame, He Who Remains was killed. So we are in a branch timeline where things turned out bad. Like, very bad. By the way, did anyone else notice the Spider-Man theme in the finale to Daredevil Born Again, Season 1? I actually heard it while watching the episode, but my brain didn't pick up on it. And then several days later, I saw the rest of the internet pointed out, so I had to double check. It's like, oh yeah, the theme is in the episode. Sadly, though, you know, Spider-Man's #1 villain being Sony, I doubt I don't even doubt. I know for a fact Peter Parker Spider-Man will not show up in Season 2 or any season of Daredevil Born Again. Hey, I'll be happily proven wrong. Prove me wrong. Go ahead. Do it. I welcome being proven wrong in this case. I know for a fact Sony's not going to budge. Because, you know, Sony holds the legal rights to live-action Spider-Man for TV. Why do you think Marvel was able to do an animated Spider-Man show? Which, don't get me started on that. I see people online be divided. People say it's peak, and then you have people like me saying, it was eh. Ugh. I feel like for Season 2, the most we'll get is a verbal reference. And we're not even going to hear them say out loud Spider-Man by name. I feel like the most we're going to get is someone saying, all the vigilantes are fighting crime, even the web slinger, and that's it. Something like that. Like, they won't even say Spider-Man was also fighting crime. No, they're just going to say the web slinger, the man dressed as a spider, something like that. They're not even going to say Spider-Man by name. Because they can't. Because Sony. Ugh. So I'm going to try to watch another Marvel movie I have yet to catch up on tomorrow. Oh yeah, I should mention. So tomorrow I should have another day off. However, there's a good chance that tomorrow my day off, my free time will be lost. Due to the fact that I might need to help my sister move stuff to her new apartment. So there goes my free time. However, by some miracle, if I do manage to do my own thing, then there is another Marvel movie that came out months ago that I have not yet watched. That being Kraven the Hunter. Yeah. Can't wait to watch yet another Quicksilver variant. Man, I still have yet to see that happen. The closest we've seen in terms of variant meeting variant is Loki and Spider-Man. That's it. Well, Doctor Strange as well. You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I was about to say, we have yet to see a variant meet a variant who looks the same. No, Doctor Strange did. Because we saw Loki meet other Loki variants who don't look like Tom Hiddleston. We've seen Spider-Man meet Spider-Man variants who don't look like Tom Holland. I was about to say, we have yet to see a variant, like our main character, meet a variant who looks the same. Never mind, Doctor Strange did. But aside from Doctor Strange, we really have yet to see variant meet variant who looks the same. Or how about this? We have yet to see someone meet a variant of themselves who looks the same but is completely a different person. Kind of like if Steve Rogers met Johnny Storm. You know? Well, yes, we also did see Deadpool variants meet. And, you know, Nice Pool does resemble Ryan Reynolds, but that's besides the point. So yeah, I still want to see that. I still want to see our main character meet a variant who is absolutely nothing like the person. Because imagine if Quicksilver met Kraven the Hunter. They look the same, they are nothing alike. You know, different person, different background, different superpowers, but they have the same face, and that's it. I still have yet to see that happen. At least I think. I don't think that's happened yet.
What are you...
Nope. Stop that ad. Stop these ads right now. Oh yeah, I should probably check if there's any lights outside to turn off. Give me a sec. My dad has this new light in the house that he loves to turn on. And I just have to turn it off because there's no point. Oh yeah, you want to know some bullshit that I found out? So, a little while ago, I was in desperate need of a new external hard drive because my computer just ran out of space. You know, these VODs take a lot of space. You never know if the channel might get hacked and everything gets lost. So best to save them, best to archive them just in case. Well, my friend told me to go check out Costco because Costco is just, you know, just has everything. So I went to Costco to check and they didn't have it. So then I had to go to Best Buy to buy it. I spent over 200 bucks. It was like 189, I think, and then plus tax. Ended up over 200 bucks for a 4 terabyte. And then almost a week later, my friend sent me a picture from Costco like, yo man, there's still external hard drives here if you want. There was one that was 5 terabytes at Costco for like 150 bucks. And then plus tax, that'd be like, I don't know, 180 maybe. It's like, man, that's some bullshit right there. And then he told me, you know, different Costco's have different locations of Costco's have different items. It's like, it's kind of stupid. In a way, it makes sense, you know, different locations have different items. That kind of makes sense, but it's also pretty stupid. So I basically just spent more money than I should have for less additional space. Ain't that a bitch? Now what I'm not gonna do, like a bunch of my customers do at work is come back, tell me another place has a better price, and then ask to lower the price. You know, I hear that Costco has a better item for less money. I'm not about to go to Best Buy and try to bargain down the price. Like, that's stupid. But then people in my line of field think that's okay. A completely unrelated store says product and pricing, you know, they see a better deal for something at a different place and then come to us and be like, can you match the price or do better than them? It's like, bitch, that price has nothing to do with us. We tell you our price. That's the price you pay. You don't pay us their price. You know, I did have another special case at work, and this was actually something good. This is like one of the rarest things I've ever seen a customer do. So I'm not gonna get into too much details. It was a man with his wife and like, yeah, 2 kids, I think. So the big bunch of products that he wanted, majority for his wife, I think all of them was for his wife, came out to, I think, $1,110. So 1110. He asked, can you do any better? So my mom lowered the price, and then he's like, okay, just charge me this price. Points to the paper, points at 1110. So it's like, okay, thank you. So my mom, wanting to be nice, because the guy, while trying to lower the price, he's just like, you know what, let me pay the full price for you. So my mom instead was like, okay, you pay me $10.80 instead of 1110. He's just like, no, charge me that price. And keeps on pointing to 1110. So I've never seen a customer before be offered a lower price and still insist on paying the full price. Like, if anything, that's 10 times rarer than any shiny I've ever found. That's 10 times rarer than even the rarest shiny I found. Now, I'm sure some people would make the argument like, that's why you should always slightly lower the price, because you never know if some kind soul is going to do that. They're gonna turn around and be like, you know what, never mind. You were nice enough to lower the price for me, I'll pay whatever full price you said initially. Yeah, well, the chances of that happening again are very slim to none. Especially these days when people are even more cheap. And also, you know, with the dangling jump scare that is tariffs in front of everyone panicking about that. Yeah, the risk is not worth the reward, let's say that. Me lowering the price for every customer who asks for it, which is basically every customer. Yeah, the chances of any one of them asking or suggesting the same thing is pretty much zero. Well, I don't really have anything else to talk about today. We talked about Captain America, Brave New World. Coming up next, I will have, hopefully, Kraven the Hunter to talk about. At some point, my friends and I will assemble once again, and then we will likely watch Smile 2. So at some point in the future, I'll probably have that film to talk about. Like I said, a couple of shows that I need to catch up on, like Monarch and Ted from The Boys, Gen V. Oh yeah, what's going on with those spin-offs with The Boys? Like, The Boys, what was it? Origins? The Boys something. The origin story, no, Vought. What was that theme I'm thinking of? Nope. Stop that ad right now. You know, tonight I, out of nowhere, had a big dinner party to host. My family came home from work and then they said, we're having guests over for dinner tonight. It's like, what? Which really sucks too. I was about to cook a steak for dinner. I was going to try reverse searing this time. I was gonna slowly cook it in the oven and then put a crust onto it. Yep, maybe tomorrow night. So, let's see. The Pokemon TCG Pocket's brand new set, the Celestial Guardian thing, or whatever it's called, the Sun and Moon set. Obviously, the one I want the most is the EX, is the Full Art and EX Decidueye. I want the fuck out of those. I will be, you know I will be pissed if and when I pull that Incineroar EX. I am just glad they did not give us a shiny Incineroar card. Which, I like the fact that they're continuing the whole shiny card thing. You know? It's gonna be strange, you know, every pack moving forward... Every pack moving forward will have shiny cards, but not the couple of packs before it. Once we reach the point where we have 100 different packs to open from, well, it's like, well, why is this handful without anything shiny in it, right? I would also love the Lunala gold card. I still have yet to pull a single gold card. I do not have any in my game. Oh, nope. Turn that ad down. No, I don't have ad block. Stop asking me. Man, I need to wash my hair before bed. I wash my hair every day just because I go even one day without washing my hair and it gets so greasy. So oily. It gets so uncomfortable. I know it's an endless cycle. You wash your hair because it gets too greasy, but your hair gets more greasy because you constantly wash it and get rid of its natural oil, so it's trying even harder to replenish said oils. So it's an endless cycle. I clean more because of its oils. It creates more oils because of how much I clean. God forbid the apocalypse happens and we run out of shampoo. Honestly, at that point, I would grab a pair of scissors and cut my hair as short as I can. It wouldn't be pretty, but hey, it's survival. Although, if the apocalypse were to happen, that would be probably my last and only chance to grow my hair out as long as I can. As long as I want. Assuming I don't die before that happens, that is. Alright, I won't be here for too much longer. Once we reach the 2-hour mark, I'm gonna call it for tonight. I did kind of start a little bit later than I would have wanted. Because like I said, I had a dinner party to host, and then I had to clean up, do all the dishes. Trying to find music to play. Ah, you know what? This came to mind. This came to mind, so I'm playing it. I hear people online say that Persona 3 Reload is rather soulless and misses the mark compared to the original Persona 3. I don't know, I've only ever played Reload. I will play Persona 3 Original at some point. We'll have to see how long these shiny hunts take, because currently the plan is these shiny hunts and then probably that after. But we'll have to see how long this takes. The fact that we got literally double how many we have to hunt as compared to before, yeah, it may take a while. Oh yeah, want to hear something? The other night, when I went out to dinner for my friend's daughter's 100th day celebration. So I sat next to his brother and his girlfriend. Not only did I trade her a cowboy hat Snorlax, just to be nice, so my friend was basically like saying, this guy right here is the Pokemon master. He literally plays nothing but Pokemon. Low-key calling me a loser without calling me a loser. So then, she was like, my friend was like, she is the One Piece master. And so I told her, like, if I were to start watching One Piece, I would start at the very beginning. Start at episode 1 and work my way to the top, watching every single episode. And she's just like, yeah, as you should. Finally, someone who speaks English. Finally, someone who is sane and understands what I'm saying. Though in this case, that might not be a good thing, because we're talking about fucking One Piece with thousands of episodes. You know, nobody will agree with me when I say start the Arrowverse from beginning. You know, No one will listen to me when I say start the MCU from the beginning. Start The Walking Dead from the beginning, watching every episode, every spin-off. Nobody listens to me when I say that, but hey, watching One Piece from beginning to, beginning to end, episode by episode, yeah. It's like, why would you start in the middle? Okay, but a lot of those are self-contained. I don't know. Me personally, I would not start something in the middle, but a lot of people would. Take a certain douchebag that we know. One Piece is getting a reboot, apparently. Well, it's been what, like 20 years? I suppose it could be time. For God's sake, Marvel sounds like they're getting a reboot after Secret Wars. A soft reboot, not a hard reboot where they start over, new actors, new continuity. It's like, at a certain point, yeah, a reboot might be time for one. But anyways, to answer you, like, why would you start in the middle? Well, take for example, I don't know how the One Piece anime is structured. Maybe it's like the Pokemon anime, maybe not, I don't know. You don't technically need to watch all of, the Kanto region storyline to understand the Sinnoh region storyline, right? You can just start at the beginning of Ash's journey in one region and watch it to the very end. You don't need to watch the stuff before, right? I don't need to watch his adventures in Johto to understand his adventures in Kalos. That kind of mentality. And there's also the thing of like, take my family. They didn't like when I told them you really should watch everything Marvel movie related before watching Infinity War. It's like, why? We don't want to. We just want to watch the one movie without having to do basically homework. It's like you will literally understand almost nothing. You will get the basic story. This big purple guy is looking for rocks across the universe. You're not going to know who the characters are. You're not going to know why the rocks are located in the spots they are at. That kind of stuff. Like, if you've seen literally nothing Marvel, and you just watch Infinity War, you'll at least recognize, ooh, that's Iron Man, that's Spider-Man, that big purple guy's Thanos. He wants those stones. But you're not gonna understand a lot of other stuff. You're not gonna understand, okay, why are they at this place called Nowhere? Who are these supposed guardians of the galaxy? Why is there a big, red-faced guy, Vision? Why does that person have a stone in his forehead? Oh, he's a machine? Anyways, yeah. If I were to start One Piece, I would start at the very beginning and work my way through every single episode. Like my friend's girlfriend said, as I should. Nobody would share the same courtesy with me when I say you should start the Arrowverse or the MCU from the beginning as you should and catch up, work your way one project at a time. Nope, nobody will listen to me when I say that. They all think I'm crazy and they say fuck off. Well, about 5 more minutes and I'll call it for tonight. We are officially back to doing this bullshit. This stupid, bad quality shiny hunting. We are back doing this, and if anything, twice as much. Once again, you thought 6 took a long time? Try 12. We got 12 things to shiny hunt today. Not today, but we have 12 things to hunt in this challenge. Am I insane? Yes. Clinically. There's just not a lot of games for me to play, okay? This is a shiny hunting challenge I've wanted to do for a while, and not a lot for me to play these days. Game prices are skyrocketing, nothing really interests me too much. Of course, no shame in feeding recommended emulation. I'm too stupid to understand how that stuff works. I mean, he did offer to help me. He said it would take like half an hour to set it all up. Yeah, one day. One day. You know, I was about to watch like a video essay on why Persona 3 Reload's The Answer is a waste of time. Oops. Whoops. For the most part, yeah, kinda. A couple of the storylines, the story bits, are important or, you know, really worth your time, but majority, 99% of the actual DLC is not. God, tell me it was better in the original game, The Answer. Tell me The Answer was better in the original games. I also heard this, like, I heard something called Persona 5 Poo, and I'm just like, what the fuck is Persona 5 Poo? Or was it even Persona 5? Something Persona Poo. Yeah, no, not 5, but just Persona Poo. Like, the hell is Persona Poo? Alright, I'm going to end this soon. Maybe like 1 or 2 more encounters. After I'm done this, I need to go shower. I am greasy, I am sweaty, I haven't changed this shirt in like 3 weeks. I don't do much at home, okay? So one shirt can last me a long time. Hey, a friend of mine just sent into the group chat. Let's fucking go! Passed all my exams. I can actually graduate from this godforsaken school now and never to return. Hey, congrats to him. I'll do this last encounter, then call it for tonight. And nothing. Alright, that's gonna be it for tonight. We are officially back with this bullshit. Okay, bye.